On the topic of.
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 On the topic of strength.
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 A time when I had to be strong for myself was during the divorce of my parents, because I was first year in high school, still trying to get to know who I was, and my house felt like it was falling and crumbling down right in front of me.
When I was in university and in some guy's dorm room, there's a bunch of people there pre-drinking before some party. And at the time I was the only black person in the room, and they're playing this drinking game, and basically they go around in alphabetical order and they're naming animals, and they're going around A, B, C, D, whatever, and it got to N, and this guy that I thought was cool, he said the N-word, and then he's just like looking around at everybody like, he's like, yeah, they're animals, right? And everyone was just so silent and looking like they just, you know that dramatic, like when people just kind of look over at me because they knew, and he must have forgot I was in the room or something. I didn't say anything. So I think, because had it be another time, I would have jumped across the table and like choked him out or something, right? So I think I had to be strong at that moment and just remember that there are small-minded people in the world and just maintain my cool. But it was crazy. Yeah.
I was going through a really hard time, and I remembered there was nobody I could talk to. I was sick of people showing up and being like, I don't understand, but I'm here for you. Like, that wasn't enough for me. People I thought would be there for me weren't there for me. I was truly alone. I remember lying in bed and I just imagined God's lap, and my pillow was this person's lap, and I just laid on it. And that was comforting. Like when I was all alone, I just needed to connect to some sort of source that was beyond human, beyond the relationships I developed. That felt like strength. Because before that, I didn't feel strong. And the next morning I woke up feeling like something had given me strength.
So a time that I had to be strong for myself was when my grandfather passed away. He was such a huge factor in who I am today. He had 5 daughters, 2 sons, but he never saw a difference between his daughters and sons in sense of what they could achieve in life. And it's such a huge thing because he's a Palestinian doctor in the Middle East. So for him to break that barrier that, no, my daughter can achieve anything that she wants just as much as my son can, my granddaughter can achieve as much as my grandson can, was such a huge eye-opener for me. He was basically my father. Like, he was always there for me. He put me through school. He put me through everything, always helped my mom. Both my grandparents did. But when my grandpa passed away 3 years ago, I had to be very strong for myself because I realized that I had to now be that motivator and that pusher for myself. So when he passed away, that was probably one of the hardest times in my life. I didn't know if I was gonna be like back to my normal self again, or able to smile again, but that's something that I'm proud that I got through, and I was able to be there for my family for just as much as they were for me.
A time that I had to be strong for myself was this last January. I made some stupid fucking decisions, and I put myself into a really shitty situation where I was with 3 guys I didn't know, and one of them decided that he was gonna walk me home, which I said no to, but he did anyway, so whatever. And then I let him come into my house because I was a little bit high and a little bit drunk, and he raped me, and that fucking sucked. And I can say that that fucking sucked, but I chose to not let it destroy me. So a time I had to be strong for myself was to choose to not fall into the pit of despair. That would have been so easy to, and to choose to let the last year of my life be a growing experience and to let it hurt. To be strong for myself was to let it hurt and to feel that hurt and to still feel that hurt sometimes when it comes up. and to ask for help, which is something I don't do. If we're talking about strength, being strong for yourself is knowing when you need to let yourself crumble and let your village take care of yourself. And I think that we often feel like we need to hold ourselves up and like we need to just be okay for everyone else around us, but sometimes being strong means you're not okay. And out of anything, that is the time I had to be strongest for myself, was when I had to ask for help through one of the hardest things that anybody can live through, let alone thrive and survive after. And that was my choice, was to survive, not survive, but to thrive and to grow and to be better.
I don't remember how old I was. And I found out that I was pregnant. It wasn't the most healthiest relationship. And of course, because at that time I had self-esteem issues, you know, I stayed in the relationship probably longer than I needed to. But at that time, I got pregnant. So I had to make a decision. And I decided to have an abortion. I remember telling him that I was pregnant, and he was kind of quiet, didn't really say too much. But I remember I just said, like, I can't do it. Like, I knew we weren't really in a good place. And I kind of felt like I'm not ready to raise a child. Can't raise a child. So I don't feel like I excluded him from my decision, but he definitely wasn't saying much. So I kind of felt that as if, like, he didn't want me to have the baby. I remember calling, making the appointment, and I told him, so, okay, we have to go on like this day at this time. And he's like, okay. So the day came, I remember calling him and he wasn't answering his phone. Anyone in that situation at that moment would have been like, I can't go through this. I'm not doing this. So I made the decision and I went to the clinic by myself. I checked in. I remember like lying on that table and I was like, I'm actually going through with this. And I don't know, before you know it, it was done. It was done. That was the time where I felt like I had to be the most strong. And to tell you the truth, I don't even know where I found the strength. I don't even know where I found the strength. Because I was going through all of this and I had nobody. It was me and me alone and no one to help me. But I got through it.
I think strength, especially in the context of when you have issues with mental health, is a very interesting question. Because I think one time that I had to be strong for myself was just knowing when to ask for help, when to call a therapist, when to be like, don't sit in your apartment and do nothing all day. Strength is so individual, and I think for some people, they may not look at strength as being like getting out of bed or leaving your apartment. But I think if you don't look at that as being strong, then how can you be proud of yourself, and how can you continue to find strength within yourself? I think I had to be strong when I have depression and I don't want to leave my bed and I don't want to do anything and I don't want to go get groceries, and I do. Like, I think that's strong, and being able to be like, I need to make an appointment with my therapist and actually go to the appointment. I think that's strong. I think being strong is leaving my apartment when I have really bad anxiety and I don't want to, and just being able to be like, go for a walk and go to work and actually talk to someone. Like, I think those are strong moments. And I think for some people, they may not look at that as strong because for them it's such a normal everyday thing to do. But I think I have to look at those as strong because, I don't know, like, it would just be putting myself down if I was like, but everyone else can just do that. I think you have to be able to be like, that is strong. Like the strongest thing you can do for yourself is when all you want to do is give up, to not give up. Like that is the strongest thing in the entire world, I think.
I think there's a lot of factors that play into what manifests strength, because strength has a spectrum.
I work out a lot. I like being physically strong. It makes me feel more in charge of my own life. It makes me feel good to be able to lift people up, literally and metaphorically. Yeah, that's what I want.
My family. I have lots of siblings, lots of cousins, my aunts. Like everyone's just, there's a very tight-knit support group.
I think there's a lot of like cultivation of strength when you take time for yourself. I think strength comes from not having to be productive sometimes and just being able to relax. And I think there's a very human thing and a very innate thing about just being able to like pull through.
I don't really have a method in the way that I manifest strength. Like some people do it through certain rituals that they have, or maybe they talk to certain people. I don't really have anything like that. I just kind of do it and see what happens.
I use meditation. I use when I am in nature to channel my strength, to be one with myself, to listen to the whispers. I look to myself to help ground me and to help focus me and to help me be a better me.
So I manifest strength. I guess there's like 2 steps. First one, I always feel it out. Like whatever I'm feeling, I really feel it, 110%. And then the second thing I learned from this like group meditation that I once went to, and it always works. Basically, you just set a timer for 20 minutes and you just sit quietly. Like you're meditating, but you're allowing your thoughts or whatever to go on in your mind to go on, and you're just taking note. Then when the timer is done, you open up a journal and you write everything that went on in your mind for those 20 minutes. And it's so amazing how you feel like once it's all out. It's hard to describe, but once you've let go of the things that you're like walking around with that feel so heavy, there's a strength to be gained from that.
So strength is actually, I think, identifying how can you get through a situation so that you come out with a solution that's an investment for yourself. For me, manifesting strength is being able to make sure that not only am I able to push through a situation and be comfortable, but also the people that I care about. I'm very invested in the people that I'm around, my family, my friends, the people that I love. So for me, manifesting strength is being strong for the people around me, not just for myself, to be able to be the person that pushes them to feel strong as well. So, yeah.
You know what? Women really are the epitome of strength. I mean...
Yo, have you met women? If you know a woman, then you know that women are like fucking badasses.
When you're born and you're a woman, you have to be strong in 3, 2, 1. Before you can even realize it, you've been strong. You've been strong for a very long time, even if you didn't give yourself credit.
We as women are a tower of strength. And I think it's because for all that we do, all that we say, all that we stand for, we have our own individual gifts.
Based on things that I've seen in women from my life, they have had to put a lot on hold in order to push the people they love through certain situations.
As women, through history, we have to break down certain barriers because it's believed we can't do certain things.
When someone told me I had to go to school and do life sciences and become a doctor, I had to be strong in order to resist that and follow my passion. When I was a photographer and a man at this wedding took my camera and changed up my settings and said, "This is how you're supposed to take a picture," I had to be strong and tell him stop. It's just expected.
Being a woman is hard. It requires strength. It requires a certain level of just put togetherness and overall being.
However, strength is just a human quality, and sometimes human beings don't feel strong. You shouldn't have to feel like just because you are a woman that you have to be strong all the time. It's okay to cry into a tub of ice cream every once in a while.
Women and people who identify as a woman go through experiences and lived experiences that are specific to being a woman. And I think through those experiences, we gain new perspective, and we gain new learning, and we gain new ways to overcome that. Just by being a woman, we become strong and we become stronger.
I think deep down we're warriors. We know how to fight the good fight. We surprise ourselves at times when we least expect it. You can kind of throw us in any situation, and for some reason we could just figure it out.
And woman is synonymous to strength because women unite. When they're united and they push through things, they are unbreakable. That is the most beautiful thing in the world, and that is the most scary thing in the world, because together, united, if we push each other to be the best, we literally could achieve anything in this world.
Being a woman is being strong because you have to be strong for a village. You take care, and you are the caregiver and the person that people lean on, whether you are talking about a group of friends or a family or strangers even.
We can be loving, we can be caring, we can just kind of, it's like we wear all these hats, and depending on the situation, we put the right hat on for that situation, and then we just kind of take charge.
We're built that way. We're built to be strong. We're built with badass lower bodies to hold up the world, and that's just what we do. We take it on. And so to be woman is to be strong.
That the day we all push and unite and encourage each other rather than pull each other down, there will be no more barriers for us. And I truly believe that will happen. I truly believe that one day there will be no more glass ceilings for women in corporations. There will be no more sexualization of women when it's unwanted attention. To get through those situations and to get through those milestones is strength. It's absolute beautiful strength.
On the topic of strength, strength is however you define it.
On the topic of strength, be bold.
On the topic of strength, eat chocolate, be merry, and lift heavy things.
On the topic of strength, you can find it where it's least expected.
On the topic of strength, look within yourself.
On the topic of strength, our resilience has brought us this far.
On the topic of women, when we unite, we conquer.